What is up, everybody? It is great to be back with you all. It feels like it has been a hot minute since I have been on the mic, certainly on my computer on the mic. I was on the mic at the games, but it was a little bit more hectic than this. Although, as I'm thinking about it, I'm going to miss Kyle from Flow Elite just holding up his computer to tell me, hey, there's someone here next, or, hey, you got to wrap in 2 minutes or that kind of thing. No, I run the show, dang it, guys. So I'm excited to have you all here today. We got a bunch of people watching on Instagram. I already saw people coming in. We got Roman. Roman's watching all the way from South Africa. I think it's 9 o'clock at night, Roman. Thanks for watching. Mom's watching. Susan Hotho checked in there. We got Cassie watching. Good afternoon, Cass. It was great to meet you at the games, and it is great to be back. Guys, here's what we're doing today on the show. We're going to go for about an hour or so. We're going to see kind of where it takes us. No longer than an hour, though. And we're going to have a couple of athletes join us today to talk about their highlights from the games. I think one thing that adaptive athletes are great at is adapting, and they're great at kind of managing two things at once. And so I know in the community right now, there's talk about, retention and numbers and what do we do about that? And that's all well and good. I've been having that conversation as well, doing some of that data work as well. But that's not to undersell what happened 2 weekends ago. Just 2 weeks ago, we were, getting ready to celebrate podiums and getting ready to crown the fittest in adaptive CrossFit. And so we're going to go back to that, and we're going to highlight some of the really cool moments that athletes in our community had. And if you had cool moments, I want you to put them in the chat. I want to hear all of those fun moments that you all had at the games, what you experienced, what your highlights were, that kind of thing. If you have a highlight and you want to hop on the show and talk about it, shoot me a DM. I can get you connected to get on the show and talk about that live on the show. Just make sure that you wear headphones. We've also got Liam watching from the UK. Liam, welcome to the show. Mona's watching. She's one of the coaches at my gym, and Logan's watching as well. So we're going to hop into this right away with Lloyd Burns. Lloyd was actually an OG member of the podcast. I believe it was episode 2 or 3. I can actually go back and verify that as we get ready to get him on the show. But we've got some really fun stuff to talk about with him because he's been a member of this community for a really, really long time. So, Lloyd, I'm going to bring you on here momentarily, and here we go. Boop. Hey, Lloyd, wait for it. There we go. Hey, Lloyd, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Matt? How's everyone doing? Good to see you all. Good to see you. I can't believe it's already been 2 or 3 weeks since that weekend, man. It's crazy.
Dude, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks. Did you do anything after San Jose? Did you see anything in the Northern California area, or did you just head back home?
No, man. Yeah, I had a red-eye flight that night to head back to the Detroit area. So we went out and celebrated a little bit right afterwards. Got some drinks, got some pupusas, but then we hopped on a flight later that night and then headed back. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do as much sightseeing as some of the other folks did, but it was all good. It was a good weekend overall. So
Okay. Did I see pictures that you ran into some games athletes while you were out and about, or was that someone else related to Danielle
yeah,
Brandon?
yeah, a few of them, man. I mean, we saw a bunch over the weekend, but I was a little too chicken to say hi to some of them. But I did run into Bethany Shadburn outside of the SAP Center with her beautiful family. So that was pretty cool. To introduce myself to her. She was
Yeah,
definitely I think one of the OG female athletes that's been around for a bit. That's it's just it's awesome. She's a freak athlete. So,
that's
but
awesome.
everyone else is kind of hmm
Bethany Shadburn, was that Bethany Flores?
Now
Did she
she,
get
yeah, I
married?
think her married name now is Flores, I believe. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. That's so cool. Tell me a little bit about, so I was just stuck in the not stuck, I enjoyed being there, but I was in the convention center the whole time. So you got to
hmm
opening ceremonies, you got to the arena. What was that experience like?
That was pretty amazing. I mean, just even like in the corral period, which is cool seeing all the different countries that were being represented over that weekend. I don't know what the final count was, but it was just to literally see all the different countries, which is cool to realize like how big it is now. And then again, like being able to see some of the main individual athletes in the corral area. Again, they were 20, 30 feet away. Some people were braver than I introducing themselves. It was cool to kind of be up and close and personal with them. And then obviously walking out and seeing again just how big it was having all the elites, the teams, the masters, the adaptive athletes having us all together in one spot was pretty dope. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, you have been a member of this community for a very, very long time. I actually have a stat here that I'm going to pull up if I can get my computer to do it that I think will show
Ooh,
that very
nice
well.
stats.
Yeah. I've been getting a little statty lately. It's been fun. Let's see here. Athlete, where's it at here? Athlete stories. Doot, doot, doot. Well, I can't find it at the moment, so we're going to pivot off of that. Oh, I know where it is. Longitudinal data. There we go. Graphics. Athlete profiles. Here we go. Lloyd Burns. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I hope you can see it on your phone, Lloyd. Can you
Oh,
see that?
whoa. I can.
So it is all of your results actually, which is super cool when I was
Oh.
looking at it. Um, so actually, if anybody wants one of these, I can make you one. I won't
Oh
give
yeah,
you all
for
the
sure. You're gonna have to
secret
send me
sauce.
this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think what's so cool, dude, I mean, just to kind of, and you can really add the color here, but like, I mean, you have been consistent since 2021 and you worked hard in 24 and 25 and like me kind of came in fourth, man. Like you got that
Yeah.
taste of the podium. So, I mean, I want to know what it was like
Oh
this year,
man.
right? To see and feel second place.
Yeah, man, it felt really good, man. I mean, actually going back to those first years of Wheel Wide, going up against dudes like Casey Ackrey and Logan and
Oh my
Victor, like
gosh.
all the giants, like it's you think about like, dang, like I was like there was some heavy hitters and I think the year after I guess compete against Josue 1-on-1 and we still talk about this. I never after that
Mm.
it was just two of us that were competing that year. They were just doing the top five. But afterwards, he was like, "Yo, man, your game's material. Keep at it." It was one of those things where I was like, "Oh, that was pretty cool to hear that." But to kind of see it finally come full circle to make it on a podium this year was definitely was pretty sweet. It's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. And that was Josue Maldonado in win giving you that encouragement, like 2022.
Yeah, 2022. I think it would have been that the first year or no, the second year of my wheel wide games. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were the only two in our division. 'Cause I think again it was during COVID, so people were having trouble with like traveling and stuff, and they were still kind of being strict
Oh,
about that.
okay, okay. I see it
Um,
there. Yeah, in 22, where it was a 2 out of 2.
yep.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it was fun. It was my first kind of taste of again seeing um, seeing him up front because you see people on the leaderboard during the online, qualifiers and stuff, and see him close and seeing how he moved and how fit he was. It was awesome. So I like to think I'm kind of sort of clawing and scratching my way closer to his level, but we got a bit of an age gap there and different other life priorities, but yeah,
Sure,
man, it's,
sure.
it's it's been fun, man. It's been fun seeing the year to year progress like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, especially after coming in fourth the last 2 years. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'll definitely send you that graphic. I'll try and
Mhm.
make a version of it too that's more Instagram friendly, kind of, that
Okay,
taller version. So you can
yeah.
post that as well. But yeah, so you were actually mentioning though that like your family life looks a little different, than some other athletes. I also have kids
hmm
at home, balancing all of that kind of stuff. I mean, what's it like training and going to San Jose when you've also got a family at home and all that you're dealing with?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we had a tough decision trying to figure out who's going to travel this time around. My wife has traveled out the last, she's been, I mean, every year. And then
Yeah.
there's been both kids were out last year in San Antonio, and I just had one of them, I think, for 2 years prior because I skipped the 1 year when my second daughter was born. But it's tough, man. I definitely like having them there. But obviously, like you can't really put away the dad hat when you have them out there. You still got to give the piggyback rides and make sure they're fed and stuff. Because your wife can only do so much when you got
Yeah,
them
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. But it was cool. Still getting the updates from my wife. Sending videos and pictures of them watching me on the TV and stuff from home, and getting the encouraging
Mhm.
videos in the morning, saying good luck, Daddy, all that stuff. So definitely
Oh,
had it in mind throughout all the workouts, especially that reboot one. That one got a little gritty with all the rowing and the skiing and the
oh
burpees and
gosh.
stuff. So yeah.
Dude, tell me about that one. So obviously, I wasn't out on the floor at all this year, so I didn't get to quite experience any of these. But I mean, that felt like it probably got to that same dark place that you kind of got to last year in that opening event, where it was just like you're hanging on for 18 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about my ability to do stuff after doing burpees. I feel like I'm pretty good at weathering that storm, but the ski erg is not one of my strong points. So where I felt
Mm.
decent still coming off the rower, going into the skier already fatigued and knowing you still had half the workout. That was kind of a big
Yeah.
mental challenge. Really kind of just driving and holding on for dear life. So it's definitely similar in some ways to last year's for that 18-minute row. Um,
Hmm.
but I guess it's just a different kind of pain, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I'm sure. I
introduce
mean,
another machine to it, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, and the burpees are never fun to kind of have interjected in there. So
Right, right.
We've got Anna Stern watching, Kyle Harper's watching from South Africa, Tori Clinch, who won seeded 2 for females, is watching in the
Yeah.
UK. Sue Jordan from South Africa is watching. She's actually on the latest episode of the podcast. If you want to go listen to the latest podcast episode, and Heidi Ward McGrath is watching as well. Welcome, Heidi, and everybody watching on Instagram. So Lloyd, one thing I wanted to ask you about with the ski erg is, do you have to strap in your what is that, your right hand or is it your left hand? I can't tell if
Yeah.
we're mirrored right now.
Yeah, so
Is that
right hand. So
right hand?
it's
Okay.
yeah, so for quick transitions, I don't need to strap on. I can hold on, decently amount. But I definitely lose that grip strength pretty quickly without the strap. So for a longer workout like that, I did use the strap. That way all I had to focus was just driving down on it versus having to hold on and then also drive down on it.
Yeah.
When I tested it out before, and that's kind of one of the things I figured out, I was like, oh yeah, I should probably strap up for this workout. So I'm not having to worry about the handle slipping out of my hand or not be able to pull as hard because I'm barely holding on and stuff. So that
Hmm.
was one I did strap up for.
Is it harder to do burpees too without all your fingers to press you off the ground, or is it kind of just you still just use kind of the meat of your palm to kind of
Yeah, I could still just use
push
the
you off the
meat
ground?
of my palm. It's not too
Hmm.
bad. I kind of got some practice this year with the open because I had a chest injury after one of the open workouts. So I had to do that burpee power clean thruster workout kind of with one arm. So I
Oh,
kind of
fun.
got I got a little bit of practice on kind of making sure I can like roll my weight onto my left arm, but it's not too bad. Like I said, it's not really anything I have to be too concerned or worry about like some of the other athletes who have like the above or just below the elbow amputees. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Did you try Victor's challenge, by the way, of how many one arm burpees you could do in two
man.
minutes?
I have not. I did see that. I was like, man, it's too soon after this. Too soon after the game to do something like that. I'm not ready for that kind of intensity. I'll
Yeah,
take a peek at it and
this is too much.
see when it closes. But that's a nice haul that they're giving away, though. That's nice getting one of those. What was it? The striker. Is that what the
Yeah,
shoe
it was
the giveaway was?
strike movement. It was strike movement shoes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe one day when I'm really struggling for program ideas, I'll dive into that one. But still, yeah, still too soon for anything that crazy. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you. I hear you. So, what's your fitness been like then since kind of post games?
so yeah, I mean that first week, I think I popped into the gym a few times around coaching to kind of see how my body felt. But while it's definitely been nice to get some strength pieces in, the high intensity hasn't been there yet. I think I did
Hmm.
one like high intensity workout. I was like, yeah, I just felt so sluggish and like run down and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. So it's been
Yeah.
mostly a lot of like bro sessions, squat, pulling, curls, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. So that's been nice. But I am hoping to get back into some Metcons hopefully the next like week or so.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. We've also got Lauren Saul watching, friend of the pod in Neuro Minor. She killed it this weekend too. Lloyd, what was the highlight for you in the weekend in terms of a workout or a moment that you were like, okay, like especially right. I remember having been fourth a number of years, and then when I was like, oh, I've got a chance at this thing, to kind of feel like, okay, this is when I
Hmm.
look back on the weekend and go, okay, I shot my shot in a way that I hadn't years past, or it broke the
Right.
way that I wanted it to break for me.
Right. I mean, it was probably. I mean, there's a lot of moments, but just I guess the one that jumps up quickly was probably that last workout. Because the first workout of that day I think was Catalyst, and then that was probably my lowest finish of the week. I think I finished sixth, so that dropped me down from second place to third place. So I was kind of having some deja
Okay.
vu from last year, where I was like,
Right.
the last day I just fell out. I was like, oh no, here we go again. But going into that last workout, I felt pretty confident about all the movements. So I actually felt more confident going into that workout than the workout before, thinking like, okay, I can definitely score pretty well to hold on to a podium spot. So and then
Hmm.
come to find out that I finished first place in the last workout was all the better too because that was my only first place finish of the weekend. So
Oh,
to end the
wow.
weekend on that, yeah, to end the weekend on that was pretty sweet. And see my friends. I think one of them was had happy tears going. Another one was like jumping up and down. So that was awesome to kind of see like, oh, like I think I did it.
Yeah. So here we got the standings here. Um, is that upper? Oh no, that was upper one. Sorry, I grabbed upper one.
Yeah, it's
I
something.
was like, wait a second, that's Victor at the top. Not it's like Victor's not
I'm
in
done.
your division.
My days of competing against Victor are over.
Right here. I got upper two. I got upper two right here. Right here. There we go. There we go.
hmm
So let's take that
Oh, I like
full
this map
screen.
too. Oh,
Yeah, you did pretty good, man.
that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah,
I
nice
like the
work.
idea.
Nice work, dude. It doesn't have 5 minute limit in it actually, so you're still sitting in third on that one. So I got to update that one. Um, but yeah, great work. Great work at the games, dude.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was
Yeah, of
great
course.
having you out there, running on the sidelines to get everyone's, all the athletes' perspectives and stuff. So you're doing an awesome job with that. And
Hey, thanks,
yeah, I was just
man.
happy just to see everybody. Just happy to see everybody that weekend. Some new
Yep.
faces, some old faces. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome, dude. Well, Lloyd, thanks so much for hopping on for a little bit and
Of
for
course, of
telling me
course.
about the year and congratulations again on second place, dude. I mean, how does it feel to have the medal? Is that nice?
Yeah, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's not it's that validation you don't think you really need. The medal's nice, but actually have it in your hand, you're like, oh, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Hmm. It is. It is. I know. That's how I felt
All those
last year
years of
too. I was like,
trying.
this thing's real. It's real.
Yes, and it being the 20th year anniversary too, that makes it adds a little special something to it too. That's also pretty dope. So
Hmm.
it's got a
Awesome, Lloyd.
nice little twist to it.
That's awesome, dude. Well, hey, thanks so much for hopping on for a little bit. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll do more
Appreciate
live
it.
shows
Yeah,
in the off season. So I'll see you around.
yeah, sounds good,
Oh,
man.
oh,
I'm available
I got
anytime.
I got something I want to show you. Hold on one second.
Okay. Oh,
Hey.
where'd you get one of those?
Okay, so a buddy of mine was in Detroit and was like, "Hey, I think one of the dudes from your podcast, goes to this gym. What gym does he go to?" And so he goes in there and he gets a T-shirt, and then he goes, "Hey, is Lloyd here, or like a dude with like one hand, or like,
Oh, I do remember. Yeah, this was soon after I think last year. I think
yeah,
he dropped it. Oh yeah, I wasn't able to link up with them, but I forgot about that. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah." So I wear that sometimes to rep the brand, so it's good.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, shout out to Motor City, man. Definitely.
Yep,
That's
exactly,
awesome.
exactly. Awesome, dude. Well, hey, it's good to see you, and I'll see you around.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll stay tuned. Thanks.
All right, see you later.
All right, see you.
Awesome, guys. So that was Lloyd Burns. He just finished second this year in upper 2 point, which was super, super cool. We got Abby Wynn Jones watching. Abby, we had so much fun chatting at the games on the live show, which, by the way, if you're following my Instagram at the Adaptive Athlete Pod, we are dropping those live shows that we did. I think we did 6.5 hours of live content on Flow Elite, which is absurd. Thankfully, I do a lot of talking for my job, so it wasn't too onerous. But yeah, we did 6.5 hours of live shows, and I'm chopping up, basically getting out everybody's interview, tagging everybody in it. So if you get a tag or a collaboration request from the podcast, chances are it's related to the interview that we did on Flow Elite that I cut out and got you on. So that would have had like me and Tater Tot doing them, or me and Josh, or me and Brett, or me and Mike. There were a bunch of us just doing interviews. And so if you sat down at that little desk show, chances are we'll get you on Instagram as well with your episode cut out. Let's see who else we got. We got Haley Kuhn watching us. Haley killed it this year in seeded one. We're hoping to have her and Jed on a little bit later this year to talk about some stuff that they've been working on, because she's been learning some really, really cool skills. Abby Wynn Jones, I also miss your face. Don't worry though. I will hopefully get over to Europe for the first time in my life sometime in the next year with the fam to visit you all, see the whole Adaptive crew, the Adapt Aeon crew, take this show on the road. Guys, let's talk about a couple of things going on here. So that athlete graphic that I did for Lloyd, that was actually kind of fun. One thing that I, one thing that I did kind of after the games that I was really curious about is I just went and kind of grabbed a bunch of data off of Comp Corner, off of CrossFit.com, all that kind of stuff, and basically kind of merge those two data sets so we can get just the story of an athlete. This like, hey, what was your journey, right? Not only from when we talk about things like, retention and, who's coming and who's leaving and who's, sticking around for a long time and who isn't, but actually to do really cool things like what we just did with Lloyd, right? Because imagine if our sport, imagine if when we're doing something on Flow Elite or we're doing, a games or even a smaller event like Sea Dog, right? Imagine if you could pull up your history to share with a floor MC or to share with a broadcast person or something like that. Like having all this data is so cool because you can paint the picture of who you are as a competitive athlete, competing in this sport. So, Yo, it's Curly. Didn't realize they were live. That's awesome. Yeah, man, we are live. So, if you want to get on and talk about a highlight that you had, Curly, shoot me a DM or shoot me a text, and we'll get you on here. Guys, in a little bit, we've got another guest joining us to talk about their experience at the games. But one other athlete that I spoke to was Bailey Hooper. Actually, she was sharing with me how one of her highlights from the games was a massive lift that she hit on the snatch workout. So we're actually going to pull up those results so that we can see what that snatch workout was for Bailey. That would have been upload, and that would have been lower minor. Boop, and boop. So let's see what that was. Yeah, oh my gosh, 140 pounds. So a hang snatch into a snatch for Bailey Hooper, 140 pounds. Bailey competes with bilateral club foot. So you'll notice that one of her calves, I believe her left calf, is much, much smaller than her right calf. And so it takes her quite a bit of effort to generate power off the floor. But I also want to point out that these are some pretty strong lifts down the board, really. Mackenzie Kravetsky, a rookie, 95 pounds with a fused ankle. So imagine kind of doing a snatch with without really being able to bend one of your ankles, how tough that would be. So she did that with a fused ankle and did really, really well on that workout as well. Oh, now I'm confused. I don't know if Abby Wynn Jones missed my face or Lloyd's face. So whatever, it's fine. I guess maybe I'm a little conceited. Maybe we'll take it. Anyways, so those were the results from Upload, and that was Bailey's highlight moment from the games, which I think is really, really cool. She also sent me some photos of that experience, and so let's see here. Yeah, this is super cool. So we're gonna go here and here, boop and boop, and this is her completing that lift for 140 pounds, which I just think is just wild and very, very well done. So here's Bailey celebrating that lift right there, which I just think is so cool. Like just locked out overhead, 140 pounds, killed it. That was so much fun. I loved watching that lifting workout. That was a fantastic workout. And so many of you did so good on that lifting workout. Yeah, so that was another highlight for Bailey. I think one of the highlights for me was just seeing, honestly, seeing my division, seeing my division from afar, which I don't know if any of you have had that experience before. If you've taken a year off or not made it to the games and gotten to see one of the games from afar, it's just really cool when you get to see your friends that you compete against in mostly online competitions compete in person. But you know how like when you're competing, you're not really looking at the lanes next to you, like you are a little bit, but you're not getting the whole picture. It was really cool to get the whole picture and just get to see how every guy in my division moves that was at the games. So that was pretty cool. All right, we've got someone else who is going to hop on the podcast right now. Speaking of which, we got Fishing Gavin watching us. That is Gavin Sipple, I believe, who was also interviewed on the Desk Show. Gavin will get your episode out pretty soon. And we've got Marcus watching as well. But the guest I want to bring on is someone else who has also been Very, very long involved in the wheel-wad and adaptive CrossFit space. In fact, what's really cool is she competed, I believe, 21 and 22, maybe 20, 21, 22. And then I competed 23, 24, 25. And then she competed 26. We were just never meant to compete together, and that's okay. But she is also an OG friend of the pod. I just looked it up, episode 5. Can you believe that? Episode 5. So without further ado, I want to welcome on Sydney Peterson. So, boop, Sydney Peterson, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Can
It's
you,
so good to see you.
you too.
How are you feeling post games?
I'm feeling much better. The first week and a half, 2 weeks were a little bit rough
Mm-hmm.
mentally. So I just took my time out of the gym and just wanted to make sure that I was like excited to exercise again.
Yeah.
That takes a little bit of time. My body was fine to go back, but I knew that if I rushed it, I was just going to hate it. So I took some space, enjoyed some couple of days off from work, and then yeah, I got back toward the middle of last week into the gym. So far so
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Good, good. Did you have a similar experience in 21 and 22 when you were competing where it just felt like, man, I need a little bit of time afterwards?
Yeah, there's definitely like post-competition blues when you've worked really hard for something, you've been training for a while. It's easy to just think about it in regards to just the competition itself, but when you think about the open semifinals,
Mm-hmm.
the anticipation, the worry about video submissions, the stress, chatting with it's a long journey for lack of a better word, and you kind of have to put that into perspective into the whole process and not just the competition. So I knew that there would be a little bit of a come down afterwards, and I'd have to kind of sit with some feelings and just thoughts, and then it would eventually just level out and come back to normal. So yeah, I'm not feeling as depressed as I was
Yeah.
like about a week and a half ago. So
For sure, because it's complex, right? I mean, we have all these friends that we see and
yeah.
like we make, and then it's like, and we just, it's like summer camp ending, but you don't go back to school. You just kind of go back to life. But is also probably, if you're anything like me, I know that like at work, when I finish the big holidays of like Christmas and Easter, my brain switches into critical mode of just like, okay, how can I make it better next time? Right. Or how can I do what could be different? And that sometimes is a really gnarly combination of feelings when you're
Yeah.
like, oh man, I miss all these people. And you almost feel guilty for feeling critical about it. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely
And
a tough thing to walk. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say, and for me, just having been gone for so long, I caught what you were saying about how we never really overlapped, you and I, which is funny, but I just hadn't seen anybody in years, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I wanted to really make sure that I took as much time as I could to reconnect and then connect with new people who I've been following on Instagram but haven't met them in person. So that on top of my competition experience as well was a lot to, I was sad to leave and say goodbye, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity, of course.
Yep. Yep. Well, I've got a similar competitive history graphic for you as I have for Lloyd. Can I put it up? It kind
Sure.
of shows just the years that you've competed. All right, cool. I'm excited for these. These are fun. Um, let's see here. Athlete profiles and Sydney Peterson. Ba-boom. Here we go. So this is your
Cool.
years of competition, which I think is super cool. So we've got 4 seasons on the leaderboard: 21, 22, 23, you did the open, and then 26, you did the whole season. Do you recall that doing the CrossFit Open in 23?
Was that when it was under like
That was when it was
HQ?
under CrossFit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I did go through the classification process, and I did do the open. Yes, I
Okay.
do
Okay.
remember that.
Cool. Cool. Sorry, I don't mean for this to sound like a police interview or something like that. Do you
No,
remember? Do,
no.
do you remember where you were on the night?
Well, it feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest. Yeah.
You're right. You're
Wow.
right. You're right. It does. It does. Um, yeah. So I think that's. I mean, you were in neuro major, right? When you competed when in the wheel one, 21 and 22, coming in second and third.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. 22, they had running, right? I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. Um, there was I don't do you follow Make Wads Great Again or Wooly Mammoth? He
Yes,
was
he shared the story before. Yeah.
So he was there, and he, on his podcast, he made a comment about how he saw me every lap just fall on concrete. He wasn't making fun of the fact that I fell every round. I was making fun of that, but he was
Yeah.
just admiring my grit to just get back up like completely bloody and just keep going.
Keep
So
going.
yeah, I try to forget that one. We also had to wear a weighted vest, so not my favorite. I'm glad they've kind of steered away from the running. I know some people have different feelings depending on your impairment, but for me, not a great combination, but we did it.
Right. Right. And for anybody who doesn't know, you have cerebral palsy in your legs.
Yep.
And it extends, so I don't know what it's like to have CP just in your legs, but it extends like
Mhm.
up to like your lower abdomen essentially. Like it's
Yeah.
in your hips. It's completely in your hips and your glutes as well.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that would make running very hard.
Absolutely.
And you met a friend this year who has the same type of CP as you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are some differences, but
Mhm.
just in terms of spasticity. But Jenna, we'd been talking for a little while. We both have red hair. We both have CP. We're like similar height. So it's crazy, just how this brings people together that you would never otherwise have the opportunity to meet, if not for CrossFit and competitive CrossFit opportunities for the adaptive community. So yeah, it was really fun finally getting to see her in real life. And I think we'll be lifelong friends after this. So
That's
she's given
super
me
cool.
something to chase for sure. So she took
Yeah.
second.
She took second.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, she
That
did.
that does have to make you feel good, right? When someone with your same impairment, I mean, slightly different.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about Kyle Harper, watching him do bar muscle ups and like just really hard gymnastic stuff with CP like me, but on his left side. But he's trained to kind of be able to do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe there are some harder things that I can do. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's funny. We kind of have totally different weaknesses too. So I think
okay.
it could be cool to just like kind of brainstorm and like workshop together. Like she's not as quick with the single unders as I am. She has to do like an extra jump in between,
Mm,
and she's not as strong on the pull ups and some of the gymnastics as I am. So, unless it's jumping, then we're both pretty even. But like we had the 5 pull ups in one of the workouts. And
mhm.
then she's a lot stronger than me with a barbell and can cycle a barbell a lot better. So it'll be cool to see if like we can, catch up to one another.
Yeah, yeah, that's really fun. And to that point of meeting somebody who's similar to you, Gavin Sippel's mom is in the chat, and she was just sharing with Curly, it's Curly, Anthony Monaco, that as a mom, one of my highlights was meeting another person with Frederick's ataxia. So Curly has Frederick's ataxia, and Gavin Sippel has Frederick's ataxia, and you guys are rare. And I love that both of you and Fishing Gavin Sippel, set a goal and crushed it, which is super cool.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So that was really cool. I know Gavin and Anthony were both excited to be there together, competing together and doing that. So what's
Yeah,
next for you? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I had a chance to get dinner with Curly on after we wrapped up on Sunday, so that was awesome. I used to Jenna used to be my coach.
Oh, with Fit to
Jenna,
Function?
yeah, yeah. So we've connected that way. So it was good to catch up with him, and I was really excited for him that he had another, FA athlete competing alongside of him. So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
very cool.
That's awesome. And you also had someone alongside of you the whole time on the floor, which was your husband,
Yeah,
getting to be your handler. What was that like? That had to have been fun.
yeah, it was fun. We really nailed it on the second to last workout with some of the craziness of boxes in the rig and then having to use
Mhm.
another box to squat to, and we didn't necessarily like rehearse that. It just like he's just so used to like kind of this high pressure 3 2 1 go situation, that it all just like kind of worked out as exactly as it was supposed to. But I know it can be nerve wracking for handlers in that situation when you're racing, to not mess up and like feel that pressure. So, he never showed it, and I think we both had a really good time, and it was cool to have him out there. But one thing I will say, I didn't get like any real footage of me working out because normally he's the one. He hadn't. This was the first time I don't know if we just didn't have handlers on the floor with us in the past,
Mm-hmm.
or I can't recall, but this was the first time he was literally right there with me. So, yeah, I didn't really get any footage because normally he takes the videos, but I'd
Okay.
rather him be out there with me and be able to help me with straps and, crazy transitions. Because for me to get off of like a box to do jumping pull-ups, that's like a long jump for me. So he literally just scooped me, and like he even lifted me up to the pull-up bar, like a cheerleader.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah.
It was, I think one of the fun things I got to do this year was just kind of the lulls in my desk show kind of stuff with Flow Elite kind of matched up with your heats. I got to see a lot of your heats. I ran out to see obviously all the Neuro Mod guys heats. And then I saw a lot of Emma Hood's heats. Like those are, I don't know why, but those are the three that I saw a lot of. It was so fun to cheer you on and see you and
Mhm.
Kyle out there, and just like you're describing, like working as a team to make the transitions really smooth.
Yeah, he did a really good job. And it also held me accountable for keeping my cool when I could have easily been really frustrated. Just like
Mm.
I didn't want to bring him into that if I was feeling it. So it was best to just like, it's just another piece of accountability for me to like really just stay level headed no matter what happened. I struggled a lot with the transitions on and off the bike, which I knew I would. And then also I struggled even more than I thought with the rower transitions.
Hmm.
The straps, I don't know if it was because we use nice broken in, concept two rowers at home. So the straps are like kind of nice and old and loose, and the plastic's just kind of very flimsy. So, but these nice new crisp Rogue rowers, I just
Yeah.
like my feet just kept getting stuck, but he did such a good job.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's always a. I finally had to get figured out, like with my right foot, how to just kind of leave it loose enough that I can just kind of slip my foot in without. But my foot probably isn't as bad as yours is, since yours is all in your legs. Is probably quite a bit
Yeah, this
tighter
last
even in your ankle.
yeah, this yeah, I don't have any motion to go, like, up and down with my ankles. So
Okay.
as you can imagine, there's just a lot of my husband just shoving my foot just because it doesn't really move on its own. Like, I can move it myself, but I have to use my lower body, and when you're trying to
Yeah.
get on the floor and do burpees, it just made more sense for him to do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we did a good
Cool.
job, him and I. Yeah.
Well, we've also got Jed Snelson watching us. So, any of you guys watching on Instagram or YouTube, if you've got a highlight from the games and you want to drop it in the chat, we'll talk about it. I'll lift it up. We'll get to just kind of celebrate what you accomplished at the games this year, which I think is super, super cool. So Sydney, what's next for you then in the off season? Do you have any competitions that you're looking to do, or anything that you're doing?
Yeah, so every year my gym hosts a competition called the Fantastic Four. So it's two male, two female, and that's going to be Labor Day weekend. So it's coming right up next
Oh, wow.
month. Yeah, and I've done it for the last 3 years. And then the first year I was just a judge, a volunteer, just to like see how it would go, see if I wanted to do it. And then
Hmm.
I've loved it every year. So I'm excited for that. It's a fun opportunity to get creative with adapting and modifying because of some of the variables around synchro movements
Yeah.
um, and just a lot of movements that I definitely will have to change. So I'm hoping to, for the first time this year, maybe tell a little bit of that story of
Mm.
here's the programming. I might record a little bit of the owner and I sitting down to like go through each workout to like brainstorm together what I'm going to do,
Hmm.
and then like show what I did on the day of. We always make it work. It's always super fun to work out in that kind of format because it's not just you, it's three other people who you're friends with, and it's a good time.
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I especially love the idea of showing what goes into sort of adjusting that programming for you. If anybody's watching and is thinking about doing an an able-bodied competition, but they're going to need a couple of modifications, consider telling that story either in an Instagram reel or something like that, so that more people can see what modifications you do in case they are looking, for in case they have a kid one day with CP, or they meet somebody with CP who wants to do adaptive CrossFit, and now they have somebody to go look to, or someone's content to check out. So, well, best of luck in that competition. I think that's going to be a ton of
Oh,
fun.
thanks. Yeah. Other than that, not a whole lot planned. Just getting back to CrossFit and enjoying it, and yeah, we'll see.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, Sydney, thanks so much coming on today. It was so nice to get to meet you at the games, to get to see you face to face, to see your excitement, your joy for being around everybody. It was just really, really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. It's like I know I've told you this, but I, got fourth place, but I really feel like I won in a lot of
Mhm.
ways for myself, just in terms of my mindset and attitude and just finding the joy in all of this again and actually like, it's one thing to recognize when you're kind of not in the best headspace around competition, but it's another thing to recognize it and then be able to change it. And so I was really
Yeah.
happy with my growth there and just having fun and letting the rest just happen. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if anybody else wants to hear more about your story, your episode is episode 5 on the Adaptive
Oh,
Athlete
wow.
podcast. So if you go all the way to Spotify and just keep scrolling, because we've had like, I think 78 episodes at this point or something like that. So just keep scrolling and you'll get to Sydney's episode. It won't sound as good as things do now because I think I had earbuds at the time and I didn't have this fancy mic and everything, but you'll get her story. So, Sydney, thanks so much for joining us today, and I will see you later.
See you later. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, guys. So that was Sydney Peterson. She competes in neuro major. She has cerebral palsy affecting her legs, which we call diplegic cerebral palsy. Same thing actually as Tom Miazga. The difference there, and it's not a good or a bad thing. It's not a value judgment. It's just simply how people choose to ambulate around the world. Is Tom ambulates in a wheelchair, especially when he's out and about doing his job, coaching, stuff like that. At home, he he walks, but obviously it's like stilted. And Sydney just walks all the time. And so just different choices. Neither one is right or wrong, just different ways that people with diplegic CP live, which is really, really interesting. So we've got Luke Reeson joining us. Lauren Taylor is watching. The Adaptive Scott, who is Kieran Healy Ryder. Very excited to have him joining us. And then Chewy Hargrave. Chewy was on a desk show, actually. So we're going to get to hear some of his story when I drop his live. I believe he came and joined the desk on the final day while we were waiting for podiums when, oh goodness, when we had to fill 45 minutes of airtime, I think. That was fun. We had to fill some really long periods of air at the games. It was a lot of fun. The guys from Flow Elite, by the way, this is actually something I don't know if anybody else saw, but they would come up to me afterwards and be like, this is fascinating. Like, and this is not to toot my own horn, by the way, guys. This is just to tell you the power that is in connecting your story to someone else's experience of something. Meaning, these guys kind of had an idea what CrossFit was, but they had no idea what adaptive CrossFit was. But over the course of 6.5 hours of me talking and interviewing people, and Tim and Mike Egan and Brett and Josh interviewing people, these guys got an idea for what makes this community special. And like Kyle was blown away by the time we headed out. And it was just super cool to see that connection be made. So really think about your story. Think about what matters about how this has helped you and made your life better, and then share it with someone, right? Like that can open someone's eyes to what is possible so that hopefully if they come across somebody with a disability, they might say, hey, have you tried adaptive CrossFit? You never know what might happen. Let's see. We got Russell Almendinger watching as well, and Adam Nelzik. Adam was also at the games and had a highlight that he sent us that we played on the live show, and I believe it was hitting a snatch. That snatch workout was a good one. Hey, we got another highlight from another member of the community, and that was Courtney Lopez. She said her highlight was crushing these workouts while my body was screaming at me. She broke the mental barrier this year and silenced the noise of my body, plus others who were not going to help my recovery from my accident. You compete differently when it's you versus you. Amen. I can definitely think about that. Bailey Hooper shared that as well when we were talking on her podcast episode where she says me versus me sometimes. Sometimes you just got to think about myself and what I have to knock out. Cass is sharing, guess what? I PR'd my toes to bar, and I didn't know I could get that many. You got 22? Wow. Dude, that's awesome. So just so I'm understanding this, I think you're saying you got 22 toes to bar, which I think would have been on that last workout 5-minute limit, which is amazing. And you got the third gold medal. Way to go, Cassie. That is awesome. A third gold medal is really, really cool. Speaking of medals and finishes and results, if any of you guys do want one of those athlete profile graphics that I created, that I showed for Lloyd and for Sydney, reach out to me in the DMs and I'm happy to send one your way. You may have to send me a photo to put in there, or I will use a photo from from Instagram. My choice. Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Another highlight that we have here is from Anthony Monaco, um, where he said his highlight was hitting a 70-pound snatch and he only weighs 138 pounds. And he has Friedrich's ataxia. He's kind of bearing the lead there. But that was really amazing too. He was so excited for that snatch that he hit. We talked about that on the desk show as well. And yeah, Adam saying 2 years of snatch technique finally paid off. Loved tuning into the show. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody who tunes in to watch what we do here on this show. It really makes a difference. It really makes a difference when you guys connect with the content, when you share it, even if we get to the touchy stuff, when we're able to debate it, and we're able to debate it, politely and kindly, and stay in community and kind of try and figure out how to grow this thing, fix that retention thing, get people to stick around, want to be a part of this community as we're doing things. So guys, as we get ready to, let me see if I hit all of my highlights that everybody sent me. We did. So as we get ready to kind of wrap up this episode, I'm probably going to wrap it in the next 5 to 7 minutes. It'll be a bit shorter of an episode. That's okay. A couple of things that I want to make sure that you guys know about. One, Wheelwad has a new website. If you haven't seen the new wheelwad.com, it is really cool. Go to wheelwad.com. And if you competed at the games this year, you can make an athlete profile, or you'll have an athlete profile, I believe. And you just might need to add a photo to it. It'll have all your details already in it. I don't know if you can edit it or if you have to pay the $8 a month to edit it, but it shows all of your competitive results that have been in Competition Corner. Now, what's cool about that is it'll be the 24, 25, and 26 seasons will all be there. If you want other seasons, I've got that in the data set, and obviously can make you a graphic for that, like I said earlier. If you want something like that, you can get a graphic like that. But if you go to the wheelwad.com website, you'll find photos from the games this year. They're not all out yet, but podiums and headshots are. You'll find a place to make an athlete profile, and you can sign up for a athlete account there where you can make more add more stuff to your profile as well. Some other things that they are looking to add to it, which I think is really cool and kind of speaks to how forward thinking they're trying to be with that website, is so they're going to have some ability to get workouts on that website, not like Sugar WOD, that'll still be a thing, but a different kind of workout opportunity. They're going to be adding some articles to the journal section of the website. And over time, they're also going to add some courses to the website. So like a judging course, I believe, and other stuff like that. So it's a great first step for Wheelwad to kind of head in the right direction. What is up, Victor? Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Spoiler alert, Victor is, I believe, done now running a 2 minutes max one-arm burpees. Victor, who won? If you're still listening, who won that? I'd be very interested to know, because it looked like it was pretty gnarly. So we'll see how that one went. Oh yeah, and Lloyd pointed out something too that was really nice, was the expanded warm-up area. I will say that was nice this year. When I saw it, at least, I didn't get to use it, but it looked really nice with that additional space there. So it was really cool. Cassie, you're wondering where you can find your interview from after a workout. So that is on the Flow Elite stream. If you go to flowelite.com and then look up the Adaptive CrossFit Games, all of that is out from behind the paywall. So you can actually just watch it and scrub until you get to your interview. But I cut out all my desk show stuff to post on the podcast page, with permission, of course, but we're going to post the desk show stuff separately on the podcast page. Dustin McCallum's watching as well. This is a good shout out real quick. I could not have done what we did at the games with data and with leaderboards and with all of the schedule updates and all that stuff I was putting out. None of that would have been possible without Mr. Dustin McCallum sitting at his computer in Louisiana, I believe, and then at moments traveling, but sending me regular data pulls every 30 minutes that were going to a shared folder that I could pull from. And it was super cool because it just allowed me to save tokens essentially in my AI, which was wonderful for me. Still had to pay for some extra tokens, but allowed me to really save time and energy getting data into my scripts to then build the stuff that you saw going out on the podcast page and out on the live show. So thank you, Dustin, for that help. You were in Mississippi at the time. Victor, thanks for the support of the podcast, man. I think you're an awesome dude. And so for you to be repping this podcast is really, really cool. And the winner was Kristen Tricarico won, but it was randomly chosen. Oh, fair. Bummer. I could have tried. Oh well. I did. So, real quick story, and this gives me so much more respect. Not that I didn't have a lot of respect, but I mean additional respect for the one-armed athletes. Was there was a guy at my gym who did the open upper 1 point. I think he tried to classify. I don't know if he got fully classified, but he did the open upper one, and I did the third workout with him. The burpees, jumping over the bar, thrusters. Oh my goodness, that was not pretty. That was so hard. Like those one arm burpees are rough. So kudos to everybody who competed in that challenge, and to the winner as well, getting some strike movement shoes. This actually dovetails into another thing that I want to talk about, which is my hopes for the off season. And so one hope that I have for the off season is that we are able to get classification open sooner. I don't know how soon it'll open, but I know that for the two people at my gym that were trying to do it, it just felt like there was some friction, and I don't know what that was. It could have been on their end, but I think it could also be in the process. And so hopefully as we get into the open season, well, hopefully well before the open season, honestly, hopefully by the fall, there's some clarity and communication around classification. And so if there's any updates on that, I'll be the first to let you guys know, unless Wheelbot lets you know. And if they do, I will signal boost that to all get out, because figuring out how to get people into the classification pipeline sooner is going to be critical for what we do in 2027 to grow this sport. I think another part of that is going to be creating some sort of a buddy system or a mentor system for video, for videoing workouts, or for video judging, or something to just help remove those barriers for entry for athletes that just don't have a ton of resources to do video stuff, videoing workouts and figuring that out, right? So maybe coming up with some regional buddies to kind of make that work out as well. I don't know, just ideas that I'm having off the top of my head right now. That was another thing I wanted to say that I really loved this year. I really loved having the teens there. I think getting to do our event with the teenagers present added so much energy, not just in the teens who were there, obviously in the energy that they brought, but also in getting to highlight the teenagers. And then those times, and I highlighted this in a story recently, but the times when you would get that crossover where a teenage MC who was really, really smart, Anthony Nix, was trying to had his L1 and was interviewing an adaptive athlete, and just started having all these questions coming into his head about, well, wait, what does this mean? How does this work? How do you experience the sickness, fitness, wellness, or the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum? And what do the 10 general physical skills look like for you? And he was having all of these thoughts and ideas because there was this cross-pollination happening of all this being together. So that was really cool. I also think it was nice because it did bring us back up to kind of a critical mass of like 300 and I think 10 athletes in the space, which gave us a good critical mass of people to kind of run the event with. And then I really liked the floor layout. I thought the two floors facing each other, running 20 athletes at once. I'm sure from an equipment and a judging and logistics standpoint, it was a little bit harder, but I thought it was really easy to follow, really easy for athletes to get to where they needed to be when they needed to be there. Okay, one final thing as we get ready to wrap up, and unfortunately I don't have a graphic for this, although I'm going to try and make one really quick while I stall. And that is, what are we doing in the off season? So in this off season, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to do stuff, right? Do other sporting things, do other activities, that kind of thing. But what I want to encourage you guys to do is this. Did I do it in time? I think he did. Wow, he is a tech guy. If you scan this QR code, this is a list of CrossFit licensed events. Now, I'm not saying you can't do local events, but the nice thing with CrossFit licensed events is they just hopefully are held to a slightly higher standard. And so what I would love for some of you guys to do is, if you're looking for a place to compete or something to do, go check out one of these events at that website there and see if you can go there and see if they have either like an intermediate category or something like that, and see if they'd be open to doing some movement modifications to help you. Well, look at the programming first, and then see if you would need any movement modifications and check in with them and see if that's something that they would be open to doing. Because I think that's a really interesting way to grow this sport, by going to other events as well. Victor, are you going to High Rocks in Tampa? Shut up. Okay, hold on, Victor. So if you go to High Rocks in Tampa, let me know, dude, because I am considering it. My wife is doing the singles there, and I might sign up for adaptive, but your boy has not. He has not signed up for adaptive. He has not signed up for run in a long time. But if you're doing it, you may have just forced my hand. So, yeah, there's a High Rocks happening in Tampa, October 22nd. There is the Watamania in December. Thank you, Victor. I'm just reading what Victor's putting in the chat. There's the Adaptive Community Cup happening online, and it looks like I'm signing up for a High Rocks in Tampa. Oh boy. Okay. Well, there's so much going on in the off season. Adaptive High Rocks is definitely an opportunity for something to do if you want to kind of work on your running and really work on your cardio. It can be a lot of fun. I will tell you that if you have had sort of mixed feelings about the classification system at Wheelwad, High Rocks is pretty similar in some ways in terms of the categories that are available. And so that might be interesting. Jed is also letting us know that he has one spot open for remote programming and coaching for a seated athlete wanting to hire a coach. Okay. Seated athletes, Jed Snelson is, I should do an athlete profile for Jed Snelson. I think, Jed, when I ran the data, you popped as someone who's been in this thing for the last 11 years. I think you've competed in the open for 11 years, which is insane. So if anybody wants to, who's seated, who wants to get coached by an 11-year CrossFit athlete, that's Jed Snelson. Good dude. Great dude. So Watamania is another one, wherever that's at. And so go find some competitions around you to just experience live competition, to meet new people, to do things like that. Or if you're burned out on competition, go touch some grass, man. Go just get out in a park and move your body and be thankful for the fitness that you do have. Because truthfully, the reason that we do this is to be better people, better humans. If it's our life, better husbands, fathers, partners, parents, all that kind of stuff. So it's not always about the competition side of things. The competition side is just fun sometimes. So there's that. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here unless anybody else has anything else. You can reach me out at the Adaptive Athlete Pod. Send me DMs. We can chat. We're going to be dropping some new episodes pretty soon. And then we're going to take the fall, kind of the fall winter season off a little bit. We'll probably not be dropping episodes in November and December because that's my craziest time of year with work. But then we'll be back in January as well to kick off the new season. So if there's any updates, I will keep you guys updated. Again, Victor dropped some opportunities in the chat. Victor, I will see you at High Rocks, I guess. There we go. Guys, that is my games highlight show. Thank you, everybody who joined. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Courtney, for sending your story. Bailey for sending your story. Anthony for sending your story, Adam for sending your story, everybody who chipped in. Thanks for making this show what it is. Thanks for making this community what it is. It is a pleasure to serve you guys, for being a voice for you guys, and just getting to bring us all together, man, outside of just this one magical weekend that we get once a year. Like, God, how cool would it be if we had, well, now I'm going to keep going for a while, but how cool would it be if we had like regional opportunities to get together, right? And we just, yeah, we hung out and we did some fitnessy stuff. You know, I'm going to the Adaptive Climbers Fest in October, and it's like 3 days in Kentucky with a bunch of crippled climbers. And I think what's super cool about that is like the climbers are just like, yeah, we just want to get together and like climb a rock face and like teach each other some stuff. And so, I mean, what would that look like for CrossFit, right? Like, what would it look like for us to get together and have like an adaptive CrossFit festival, ACFF? I don't know if the ACF would be happy with that, but an ACFF where you know, we just get together and like you bring that friend who has been curious about CrossFit, or you know, maybe you want to learn a skill from Victor or from another one-armed upper athlete about how to do better one-arm burpees, and we're just passing skills back and forth about how to do different things, recruiting different muscle groups, you know, with all the different things we do in CrossFit. I don't know, could be cool. Keep an eye out. Maybe we'll do something like that. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this episode of the live show of the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. I'm Matt Hotho, and I will see you guys. Oh, I have a comment. Why does it have to be within CrossFit? It doesn't have to be within CrossFit, guys. Oh, Jackson. Sorry, hold on 1 second. My kids are trolling me now on the podcast, guys. I'm going to get out of here because my kids are trolling me. It's a fair question, children. Here's the question. Why does it have to be CrossFit? It doesn't have to be CrossFit. You can do anything besides CrossFit. You can run, Jackson. You can do any fitness you want. And no, it's not AI. All right, guys. I'm Matt Hotho, and I will see you guys later. Bye.